Welcome to Pablo Torre Finds Out. I am Pablo Torre, and today we're going to find out what this sound is.
Is Pablo S. Torre Mexican, Asian, or American?
I was going to make fun of you for that bet. Now I see what's in it.
You can make fun of it.
Well, I have questions about
Good to see you.
Good to see
How
you,
you
man.
feeling?
I'm good.
I haven't seen you in so long.
I know.
I only see you when you need something from me. Which is this.
Listen,
This is all I am to you.
I'm not saying that content prostitute, but
Just because you did a favor to me one time on a pilot. Now I
I have to resort to booking fellow Asian people because no one else wants to come on my
Oh,
show.
Well, that doesn't make me want to be here.
This is charity. This is
worse than
social. This is social charity. You get points. You get your punch card of Asian podcasters. Then at the end, you get a free boba or
I hate
whatever.
that punch card. I'm the most gettable for my
No,
event
don't say
stat
that.
is
Don't say
is
that. Don't depreciate the value of this
juice
appearance.
to gettability. I have the highest ratio of my assist to turnover ratio. My juice to gettability
That's
ratio
right.
is very high for Asians.
That's right. You have Russell Westbrook qualities. Have we been rolling? Yes. Awesome. Great. Cut the Russell Westbrook slander. Keep in everything else. I want to reveal that I've been unhelpful in creating peace, in brokering peace between you and a certain podcast host
Oh, yeah.
based in South Florida.
I got no beef with him. We don't need to go into. I don't want
Are you
people.
sure?
Yeah, I don't want people to be like he won't let it go because I did let it go.
I know, but
don't want you to bring it up.
I would like to force it into your life again
No, it's
because
okay.
it amuses me.
It's okay. We don't need to
You
force
sure?
it. Yeah,
You
yeah,
sure?
I think so. I don't want to become the guy who keeps bringing it up.
I know. But would you mind if we brought former North Carolina receiver Taylor Vippolis back onto a speedboat again and just cut to you over and over again? Okay, so just real quick here because we have lots of actual special stuff that I've been meaning to discuss all year with Ronny Chieng, our special guest today, the actor, stand-up comic, Daily Show correspondent, et cetera, and I have been truly waiting to do this for months now. But the thing that I do need to just get past first is Ronny Chieng's first and only interview on the Dan Le Batard show, which was disastrous and from earlier in 2024, before the Super Bowl, when a bewildered Ronny was zoomed in to Dan's show, which kept trying to hijack the Taylor Swift YouTube algorithm, I am told, by cutting away from Ronny to producer and former North Carolina receiver Taylor Vippolis, who was live streaming his Swift football takes while on an actual speedboat.
Hold on a second, Ronny. So we're bringing in our speedboat here. We're going very fast again. Do you have a sports question of any kind, Ronny, that you would ask our speedboat correspondent that you would want him to give you an answer to as fast as possible?
No.
Okay, I put you in a bad spot.
You apologized in advance.
Yes, I keep doing that, and now Taylor is going slow again.
This is. I feel like it's. I feel like I'm doing the interview with the countdown on it. Okay, because I'm looking at the guy on the boat, so I'm wondering how long I have to answer.
Yeah, I would not say that Taylor's Swift takes were a rousing success, but I am pretty sure that all of this was ultimately Dan Le Batard's idea.
Ronny, I also apologize on the back end, though. I mean,
Well, we're going to have you on again and do it right and do it better without someone on a speedboat, okay? So if you would do us the courtesy of doing it again, because I botched the first 6 minutes of this. Maybe not.
Sure.
Maybe not.
Doesn't sound promising.
Doesn't sound
Tell us
promising.
no thanks.
It doesn't
It's cool.
sound.
We
Yeah, I
understand.
don't blame you if you don't. But thank you for this. Yes, I did lose you.
He called me to apologize the day after. And I asked him, how did you get my number? And it was you. You gave him
was
my
me.
number. And he apologized for taking my number. He actually did.
The funny thing about Dan is that he loves Le Batard loves nothing more than a comedian.
Really? It could have fooled me. But here's the real sad part was when it comes in the list of requests for me, I say no to all this crap.
I know.
I said yes to him because I was actually a fan of his.
I
you
know.
That's what was kind of sad. It was
That's
like,
right.
oh, damn,
That's
we've
right.
gone this thing. But
and now
anyway,
you've said
it's
it in
all
the
right.
past tense.
Oh, fans? Oh, yeah. Let's just say he's not my algorithm. But you know, he did call me apologize, but like it feels a little bit like hollow because it's like, well, you left the clip on, so it's like, what?
Well,
are you really sorry? You know
This
what I
is
mean?
what I want to keep prodding at though is the genuine
Is this a big thing in the sports journalism subculture?
at a company that Dan owns and operates that I work for. It's very much an inter office.
Oh, you work at the same company?
I should say that.
Oh, I didn't know
I should have
that.
probably disclosed that
No.
legally.
What, Meadowlark?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, so he works for Meadowlark?
Dan, yeah, he founded it.
Oh, he founded this thing? Well, why the f am I here then?
I was gonna say you probably shouldn't.
You probably
have done
should have,
this.
yeah, you should have opened with that. I thought this was like your own thing. No, I didn't know that. That's why you're so interested. I see.
Yeah,
I see. No,
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know that it was the same company. But that goes to show that's how little like I hold grudges about this. You know what I mean? I don't
Truly. What I was gonna
Even,
try.
hey, Dan, can we get a new chair?
I
in
know.
this
people.
this is Dan paid for this. Get this on camera. This is the level. This is where we're at. ESPN to this.
This is peak sports podcasting.
Yeah.
By the way. I don't know if you noticed this, but we're in a boom time for sports podcasting.
ESPN to this. We can't even get chairs that don't wobble. That's how far we've come. That's how far we've come, everybody.
I genuinely did love you going on Rich Eisen's show, though.
Thanks for having me on. It's nice to be on a sports show with a host who actually wants guests on the show. Versus some other sports podcast shows I've been on. So great.
Oh yeah, Rich was great. Rich was the best. Respectful. He was trying to get in depth.
Meanwhile, you and me, like, we have had off-the-record dinners in which we criticize NBA players that we're afraid to say in public.
What do you mean? Well,
I think the first time we had dinner.
yes, we had. We
this
went
is
to,
probably over. How long ago was this? Like, this was
years ago.
This was a time, and this is how I sort of carbon date our friendship, and also like the arc of our demographic.
Sure.
It's at a time when we were still talking mostly about Jeremy Lin.
Oh yeah. Hey, I'm gonna go see him in Taiwan.
You are.
I'm gonna go see him play in Taiwan.
you-
But
okay.
sorry, don't let me.
No.
Don't
this
let me
is-
derail it, please.
I was just saying, like, we met up, talked about again your genuine love of basketball.
Yeah.
Did you know that he had been married before he announced it on
Yes.
Instagram?
Yeah.
I didn't.
But it's okay. He's a private guy.
I know, but I thought that I was.
I
was on
you thought
the.
you were better friends with him.
I've known him since he was in college.
Yeah.
But I also was. This is my weird relationship with him, though, is that I was always also, and this is my conflict of
yeah,
interest.
you went to Harvard with him. That's right.
And I was also like a journalist who was like writing about him,
Yes,
and
yes.
so I was always kind of mining him. He was the first.
He was your
Asian
big-
American I
yeah.
turned into a content prostitute, where I was like, "Hey, man, I needed this quote. I need to follow you around.
He
I needed
advanced your
Sports
career.
Illustrated cover stories."
He advanced your career. Yeah.
Legitimately, I was a
Yeah.
barnacle on his leg. But when I saw that he had announced years after he had gotten married,
Yeah.
and I get why, by the way, to be clear,
Sure.
his level of celebrity and fame, especially
Yes.
overseas,
Yeah.
China, Taiwan, all that,
Yeah.
is unthinkable.
Yeah.
And so when I saw it, I was like, I was both happy and sad because he
I'd be
needed.
happy for him.
No, but sad because he had to go through this whole layer of privacy protection. Because
No, don't be sad because the truth. I don't want to speak for him, but
Yeah,
the
of course.
truth is, I think he just doesn't think it was anyone's business. Maybe he's a very humble guy. He probably didn't think it was a big deal, And so be it. It wasn't like he was like, oh no, I have to hide this from the world. He
Right.
more like if anything, I think it was more like he doesn't care about letting the world know what's going on.
Do you remember? I don't know if you remember this story when Hideki Matsui again, former Yankees slugger, one of the great stars of Japanese baseball.
Yeah.
When he announced his engagement in America, and he announced it at a press conference that he called, and instead of showing a photo of his wife, he produced a drawing he had made. Here we go.
It looks like he's describing who mugged him. Right. You know what I mean? It's like this person. If anyone's seen this person, they have my wallet.
Yes, it looks like that. Have you seen that local news segment they did in like Alabama when they saw the leprechaun?
This amateur sketch resembles what many of you say the leprechaun looks like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's more beautiful than a leprechaun. But,
to be clear, for those just listening on audio, she is beautiful, and the drawing is better rendered than I would say 99% of most baseball players would attempt to draw their own wife.
Yeah, man. If I drew my own wife, man, it wouldn't look anything like that. Yeah, I think so. That was a privacy thing, right?
That was a privacy thing.
But then why even do that? So that's a quirky thing. You know what I mean? Just be I married someone. Don't worry about it.
But this is I think the obligation of celebrity that makes me sad, which is if you're Jeremy, like at some point you gotta say.
No, you don't.
I wonder actually when you sort of. What's your Goldilocks level of celebrity at this point? Because that is like drawing a picture of your own wife is too famous.
Honestly, I don't think about it. And I do think that people like Jeremy who are very focused on a craft, and I'm lucky to be focused on stand-up comedy. I don't think about getting famous. I don't think about getting clips. I just want to write a funny joke. So, sorry, this is a roundabout way.
That's just the most Asian thing you could possibly say.
No, it's a craftsman thing. I don't know if it's Asian. I mean, I guess Jeremy and I are both Asian, but I'm sure.
But also just the dedication to like, I want to be good at this.
Yeah.
And I'm not here for the superficiality of it. I actually want to meritocratically earn this.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I'm surprised when anybody recognizes me on the street. I'm shocked. When someone's like, oh, I saw you on the thing. I'm like, you watched that?
You're genuinely shocked.
I'm genuinely shocked.
I've been in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, but well, small roles. Like I genuinely am shocked when anyone's like, I saw your stand-up comedy or I saw you on the Daily Show. Because a lot of times the Daily Show, it feels like we're making a show for ourselves. In a good way. It's like we're making a school play. That's what it feels like. It feels like we're like, hey, we're just doing it for like in this building, this weird, little like comedy performance piece.
How are you with people who say stuff like that? Is it a fun interaction?
Unfortunately, I'm not great at it because I think the humility makes people think I'm being arrogant.
Yes.
So people will come up and be like, hey, are you the guy? I'm like, oh no, I don't know if I'm the guy. I don't know who you're talking about. Like, I don't know who you mean.
Are you the crazy rich Asian?
They'll be like, are you that person? And then I'll be like, I don't know if I'm that person. I don't know who you're thinking of. And my wife is always like, just say you're freaking...
Stop gaslighting them.
Yeah, no, I'm not gaslighting. They're not specific enough. And the lawyer in me is like, well, I don't want to freaking tell you... I don't want to assume that I'm the person that you're thinking of. Maybe I'm not, That's
right.
So they'll be like, are you that guy? I'm like, no, I don't know if I'm that guy. Probably not.
Yeah. Now I can see why your wife is like,
just say you're
really
the guy. Just say you're the guy. Just say you're Pablo Torre, and then just say you're Pablo Torre.
That's right. And then they'll be confused again, as always. Like, so why is the Mexican guy with the Chinese face talking about sports? Why is he on the sidewalk?
You've never solved that issue.
No, there's
20 years in the game now. You've never solved why are you a Chinese guy with a Mexican name?
Literally, one of my so Google Chrome, I used to use it in a way that was like sort of more rigorous, and I used to have these bookmarks. And so bookmarks toolbar. This is not something I prepared for you. Look at what's floated over that. That's a Yahoo Answers.
Is Pablo S. Torre Mexican, Asian, or American? It's the worst phrasing of that question. The or American.
Or American
is the best punchline to that. Yeah.
It's the best.
So why don't you answer it?
I'm Mexican. Dude, I was in a pilot that you taped.
Yes, I know. I appreciate that. Yes.
Can we talk about that pilot or?
Yeah, I think the statute of limitations has run out on that 2 years ago. Yeah, we should talk. We never got to talk
I
about
know.
it. That's right.
So
You and my-
so I was trying to actually start with that because the reason that you have been genuinely frustrated, as well as artificially gassed up to be frustrated by me about this whole Le Batard thing, is because you are a sports fan to the degree that you filmed a pilot in which the concept was what?
I was the general manager of the Brooklyn Nets. That was the pilot. We filmed it. We actually filmed it. We didn't just write it. We filmed it. Pablo made a cameo in it as the sportscaster at the start. You know, when you have real sportscasters
Yeah,
acting.
ethically ambiguous
It was-
sports anchors.
Yeah,
me.
and you and Jalen did it for me. I
Yes.
was really appreciative because it wasn't easy to get you guys, and it came down to the wire. And
God.
and luckily the synergy of Disney, Hulu came together, and you guys jumped in there. I was really appreciative.
It was really fun for me to theatrically yell about you.
Yeah.
But the premise, like the log line of Ronny Chieng becomes Brooklyn Nets general manager.
Yeah.
Frankly, I was in based just on that sentence.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. I thought it was a fun idea.
But also, like, what is most sad to you about the pilot? Spoiler alert: not being picked up.
We had a lot of great themes in it. You know, it became this kind of way of addressing bigger themes in America in a very fun way. Foreigners being asked to take over a very American institution because they determined that we were the best at it. Because I had my character had won championships in the Philippines.
Oh, God.
And so
I didn't know that part about
yeah,
the bio.
so the owner
That's so
was
good.
so
Now I'm even madder about this.
So the owner owned in the story, the owner owned the team in the Philippines and several other teams and the Nets. And so because I won so many times in the Philippines and the Nets weren't doing so well in the pilot, he brought me over. So he stuck his neck out to bring me over, even though everyone was like, this guy's not appropriate for this league because he's been, you know. So that was the pilot. Yeah.
I could have played so many different extras.
Yeah, you could have been the sideline.
Yeah,
you could have been
I could have been again the 40th Filipino guy in the flashback.
You could also have been the annoying podcaster who's like
Absolutely.
talking about the team and
Season 2,
Yeah.
I would have been radicalized. I would have been selling crypto and supplements and hated you.
It'll be really funny if every season, like you start off, because we started you off as the ESPN anchor. And every season you just goes from ESPN anchor to podcaster
That's
to
right.
just like
This
internet.
guy outside just like yelling at
Yelling,
people.
yeah.
I've clearly just gone insane.
Yeah.
I loved that concept.
Thank you.
I
we
really
loved
did.
it too. We loved it too. We put a lot of heart and money into it. And we had Dennis Leary was
What?
the main antagonist.
So this is me learning this, finding out about this
Yeah.
for the first time, like what this would have been.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah, Dennis Leary was the main antagonist. He was great. He was my assistant GM. So I got hired over him. He got passed over. So he
I
was
would love to have seen Dennis Leary.
he was the best. He was the best. And not just on screen, but he was a great guy off screen as well. He saved the pilot a little bit because we came to him quite last minute. And he's not someone he's a great guy, but he's not someone to do a charity project. So he liked the script and then he came on board and he understood what we were trying to do. And it was great. He loves basketball. He was the traditional like ex-player, became assistant GM. And I'm like this, dumb young kid. And it was great.
Do you think that you would be a good front office executive?
I don't know. When I was in college, I fantasized about going into sports, whether it was, that's why I admired you so much, because you were the guy who made it. I was watching you in Australia, like, oh man, this guy's in the system. He's in the ESPN Around the Horn.
Industrial complex.
Yeah, he's writing the thing. I think for me, it was either going to sports journalism or maybe try to become an analyst because I had a law degree. So I was like, hey, maybe I could become an analyst for a sports team the way what's that baseball movie?
Moneyball?
Moneyball, yeah. I was doing Moneyball. Because when we were in college, analytics was just coming up.
Exactly.
So it was almost like a way for geeky guys to
Dude,
get into sports.
Back in my day, right, when this was like the beginning of the analytics boom in
Yeah.
sports, I got credibility because I was Asian. Seriously, I would be moderating these panels at the Sloan Sports Analytics Conference, basketball analytics with like these GMs and stuff.
MIT, yeah.
And they're assuming that I could like double check their math, and I'm just like,
So you rode the Jeremy Lin and analytics wave just because
yeah.
you are Asian?
Absolutely.
What do you think is your strength then from Harvard?
I don't.
What are you good at?
That,
Like, what do you think?
Analogies?
Good analogies. I guess that's a skill.
Yeah. I mean, truly, like the what I felt my superpower was writing. If you gave me time to write something, I could create something that could hang with the best students at the best college. Was my confidence.
Yeah. So why
Am
don't
I
you use this skill
podcasting
set?
instead of writing?
Yeah.
Now you have become my mom.
But I've been saying this since I
I
first
know.
stepped into this studio like 3 years ago. I've been like, why are you doing this?
Have you heard about magazines and how
Yes.
they're dead now?
Yes.
And how people are paying former NFL
Yeah,
players
but it's not about the
$9
money.
figures to speak into microphones.
It's not about the money.
Isn't it
about
though?
No, but this is genuinely what I want to ask. Is there's not so much a dig at you, but like
No, it's by the way a valid question and insecurity both.
Oh, sorry. I guess I managed to find it.
Touché, again.
Because I met up with the Free Daco guys.
Yeah.
Because it turns out one of the
When did that happen?
one of the Free Daco guys is married to a writer at The Daily Show.
Oh.
Sophie Zucker. So Sophie will keep telling me like, hey, do you like Free Daco? I'm like, how did you know that?
Right. So Free Daco how do you explain Free Daco for people who don't
Free
remember?
Daco was like,
Well, your NBA nerd credibility is off the charts right now.
guys, this is what I want to talk about. Don't get me on your stupid show to
With
jump on
Taylor Vippolis
a speedboat with some guy who doesn't like me. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about something in depth. Anyway, I know you're gonna clip that and put it out, so go for it.
Our producers are
Go
already
for it. I
clipped
didn't
that.
even know that this was Dan Le Batard's company.
Yeah,
that
we're
he
kind of like
owns.
in his basement.
Yeah, I can't even believe that.
Yeah.
A good thing you didn't open it. I probably wouldn't have come. But the Free Daco was like the first elevated sports writing that I saw. I think that happened in American culture that kind of merged pop culture with specifically basketball
On the internet.
with cool graphics. So they were kind of like the precursor to Grantland in many ways.
Yeah,
I would say.
a bunch of the Grantland people came out of that coaching
Yeah.
tree. J.
Yeah.
Caspian Kang,
Yeah.
another great Asian American writer who
Yeah.
still wrote for Free Darko, blogged for them. Went
Yeah,
on to do all
yeah.
that
And
stuff.
so they would do. They released a book, with graphics. They would do these really fun analogies of like, players and figures in pop culture, or compare them to movies, and then they would combine it with these really cool graphics. And I'd never seen anything like that before.
Right.
So
Now you've described something that is omnipresent. Back then, it
Yes.
felt revelatory.
Yes.
Again, it was I think it was also on like blogger.com.
yes, it was on Blogger.
It was like, one of these blogspot
And
things.
they spawned books and T-shirts, and ultimately, I guess they never transitioned into the new social media era. And
Yeah, and
Grantland-
God bless them. They opted out at probably the right time.
the wrong time, to be honest. They opted out right the wrong time if they had just kept
Yeah,
it.
wrong for
Yeah.
the capitalism of it.
Yeah.
Right for the psychology of their own
Oh, why? Why'd you say that?
Because I think just creating content right now is
It's a
inherently
nightmare. Like, look at
miserable.
us right now.
Yeah, I know.
This is a
Just like praying we get aggregated by
Jesus.
butt crack sports.
Oh man. That's what it's come down to now.
I mean, you're off social media.
We used to be. I'm off it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to be Grantland. Who's that guy who wrote Breaks of the Game?
David Halberstam.
David Halberstam. And now we're trying to get aggregated on butt crack sports.
Yeah. NBA Centel. We want to get aggregated by the scammer accounts that imitate the real aggregator accounts. We are 3 levels beyond
I know.
actual content creation. We're
awful.
just eating people's regurgitated vomit.
I know. So why don't you elevate this by like making a revitalizing that Grantland McSweeney for sports?
Ronnie, I have to say, without tooting my own horn in a not self-deprecating way,
Please.
when you're not on this show, the show is kind of doing that. We all work for tech companies.
Yes.
You draw,
Well-
you connect the dots back far enough, and you will either soon be working for one, some conglomerate, or we are competing with them, which makes media companies behave like them.
Yes.
And I imagine for you, this is something that you also have contemplated / had to grapple with.
Yeah. Yes, very much so. And I'm someone who I grew up loving American institutions from afar. So for me, the NBA was an institution, the Daily Show was an institution, ESPN was an institution. And so for me, I guess there's a certain nostalgia factor for that, where I respect the institution so much.
I'll tell you what,
maybe I'm romanticizing it, but
well, I look, that's a bit of a stump speech that I would vote for, frankly.
yeah.
It does feel, I say this, I get asked to talk to journalism students.
Oh, no.
I know. And so what I always have to catch myself from being is like third level nihilistic about everything, where I go immediately, they're like, so what should I do in the future? I'm like, well, we're all OnlyFans creators now working for these soulless tech companies. And so I don't know what. And so I'm like, yeah, you want me to show some ankle? What do you want me to do? Like,
I know, it's very sad. I love how you're at level 3 level. I had to research what 3 level in basketball meant.
Oh, sure.
2K, a level 3 facilitator. Like Scottie Pippen is a 3 level. It means that you can
3 level score.
You can score at the basket, mid-range, and 3-point.
That's right.
So you're like a 3 level nihilist. You can be a nihilist at any point.
I can depress a journalism student in a myriad of ways.
I love how we're talking about this because this won't make you any money right now. But I love talking about this. Here's the other factor is that like, for me, I'm lucky with comedy. I feel like you don't worry about what people are doing. Do the comedy you want to see. And don't chase the algorithm or the trends. That's oftentimes when the best comedy comes out. So in your case, it's like, forget what the landscape is.
Correct.
Be the change you want to see. And I just got back into reading like a year and a half ago after 7 years out of the game, which is, I can't believe how long I went without reading properly. Dude, reading is the perfect antidote to social media. If you feel like social media is doing you damage, just reading a book or reading a news article, a long form, well-written essay or article, it's the perfect antidote to it. So I think that it's actually a matter of national imperative.
Yes.
For mental health and just, for civilization that you start writing.
Come
again.
on.
Yeah, it is. If you don't write, if you don't do it, it's just a race to the bottom of this.
Meadowlark Media, a race to the bottom.
A race to the bottom. I can't believe the name was so innocuous. Meadowlark. It makes it sound so, cheerful.
Meadowlark is a bird. This is John Skipper's, by the way, John Skipper, former president of ESPN.
Yes.
His whole thing was like the meadowlark is the bird whose song heralds the beginning of a new morning.
Ugh. What a dressy way to hide the destruction of civilization through clip content. This is the new morning, then someone should shoot that bird, man. Because if this is what it's heralding, we don't need this.
You quoted, inadvertently or not, Gandhi.
When?
The change you want to see in the world.
Oh, be the change you want to see?
Apocryphally, at least attributed to Gandhi.
Yeah.
Is Gandhi Asian?
Is Gandhi Asian? He's Indian. Yeah. I don't know if he'll be considered classically Asian. When you see Gandhi, do you think Asian or do you think Indian?
This is why I ask.
Yeah.
This is why I ask. Yeah. I'm now trying to poke holes in the coalition. I've gone from solidarity building to now trying to undermine us.
Yeah. I would argue that Gandhi himself would reject the term Asian because that's a colonial term to try to reference all of one continent as one people, whereas even in India, they're separate people. So I would say...
You just managed to make the Indian caste system woke.
I guess so. I guess, yeah. So the caste system was the original.
That's right. They actually understood the complexity of humanity.
Of society, yeah.
The reason I am attempting to segue back to something relating to our ethnicity is because Interior Chinatown is something that I watched and enjoyed.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for watching. I'm very proud of that.
I chose not to read a book.
Sure.
Instead, I watched this new show on Hulu.
Well, in that case, then that's good.
Absolutely. It was excellent. It was ambitious. It was complicated. Yes. It was funny. It was meaningful.
Yeah.
And your character, I just want to point this out. Your character has some of you in it, but in other ways, I'm like, this does not seem like Ronny in real life.
Oh, thank you. I was trying to do my best to act.
Well, your character is a stoner in the show, and I
Sure.
don't think of you as
No.
a weed guy.
No, I'm not a weed guy. Yeah, I grew up in Singapore. We don't do weed in Singapore, so
And I know you don't do weed because you call it doing weed.
yeah, I don't do it. I just don't. So yeah, I had to pretend to be a guy who does weed.
I'm not saying I want someone to die.
So what are you saying?
Well, I'm saying if someone's already dead, I would like to be the person who find the body.
That's weird, man.
Okay, you know how in cop shows there's usually a cold open?
Cold open.
The first scene before the main titles.
Right.
Okay, so for a couple of minutes, you follow this random character who you've never met, who's not one of the leads. And part of you is thinking, why am I even watching this guy?
Why are you watching this guy?
You're watching because either he's about to get killed, or
Or?
you've seriously never seen a cop show? How is that even possible?
Video games and weed.
Okay.
At what point your character declares that Koreans are the most fun Asians?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, do I?
That's
the
what I
show?
wrote down, but I
Oh,
was
okay.
stoned when I was
Okay.
watching it, so
Okay.
maybe it's not quite accurate.
Maybe that's why the writing hasn't happened because of the drugs.
The drugs
but-
did develop kind of concurrently
Right.
with the decline
of the writing? Yeah.
Now that I think about it,
I probably did say that. I definitely said that in my stand-up special. So,
do you have a hierarchy?
of fun Asians?
Yeah.
Yeah, watch my stand-up special. I described the hierarchy. Yeah, we can play this game. Yeah, I'll push people to my and then I'll use your to my.
What I remember, Filipinos were not number one, and that is criminal.
Oh, most fun?
Yeah,
No, but in my stand-up special, they were like second.
not good enough.
That's not good enough?
No,
Oh, well. All right. Well,
we sing, we dance,
I mean,
put on masks, and become Jabberwockies.
Filipinos are like up there with the most fun. So the only reason I didn't give them the most fun right now is because I was arguing. My argument in my special was that Koreans right now are dominating
They are.
Western media with music, movies, and
Squid
and
Games.
TV shows,
Yeah.
Parasite, BTS. So that's the only reason why. But I think Filipinos were a close second in my.
I ran into somebody that you know, Daniel Day Kim. I saw Yellowface on Broadway.
Yeah, me too.
Excellent.
I'm also cultured.
Yes, that's right. We love theater and books and
Yes.
reading.
Yes.
And Daniel Day Kim, noted Korean. Dude is 56.
Yeah, ageless.
I'm like, I am used to the trope of Asian people looking young. I have been carded at a bar in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
That guy,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
yeah. It
like
is ridiculous.
we will show a photo of Daniel Day Kim. Like he should be studied
Yes.
by science.
Yes. Him and Tom Brady.
Well, Tom Brady, I mean, your favorite,
My favorite.
your
football
demigod.
player, Yeah.
That guy had just intense plastic surgery, though. You know that.
Oh, Tom Brady had plastic surgery? I didn't know
You don't
that.
think so?
I don't know.
Oh, Ronnie. This
Well,
is
now we
like-
gotta go down
is
this
like
hole.
ruining.
Wait, let's not take
Santa
away from Daniel Day
Claus.
Kim first.
Yeah.
Daniel Day Kim, yes. Super fit, looks young, has two like 20-year-old kids.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Also a big football fan.
Oh
sports
yes,
fan.
he used to play quarterback.
What?
You should get him in to talk about football.
I didn't know he played quarterback.
Yeah, he ran a lot of wishbone.
I got okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Thank you for feeding my content.
Yeah.
My content furnace, just
I know,
shoveling
why did
coal
I?
all the time.
Yeah, he used to be a quarterback at his high school in Philadelphia.
That's great.
It's crazy.
That's
Asian
great.
quarterback.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. But Tom Brady definitely. I mean, you can
He
just
had
see.
plastic surgery?
Yeah. I mean, allegedly, I guess I should say legally speaking, but I'm just gonna Google Tom Brady
plastic
face transformation.
Yeah, but that's just because he stopped eating sugar.
You attribute that to the TB12 diet?
Yes.
You think this is the TB12 diet?
Yeah.
Look. I mean, his jawline is carved out of marble on the right, and on the left. I'm just saying, look, none of us should be so confident
No,
as to
but that
insult
would-
old Tom Brady, but come on.
No, but that's a kid coming out of college versus grown man.
that's a
with-
baby fat.
Yeah. He the TB12 diet, and then what do they call it? Pliability.
Pliability,
And then pliability on
right.
your
No
face.
nightshades, all that stuff.
Yeah.
This does provide me with a convenient segue, though, because
please.
Tom Brady, the trauma visited upon him recently, of course. I'm not making light of this. I just want to point out that his ex-wife fell in love with her jujitsu instructor.
Oh yeah.
And behind you, you walk in, and I'm like, Ronny, what are you bringing in here?
I gotta go.
What do you have? What do you have in that bag?
I'm going straight to jujitsu after this.
Can you show us the bag?
Oh, okay. Actually, I picked up this gi at random, but you'll love this one.
This is, again, as always with Ronny, like, I have no idea what this is. It's unplanned.
Look at that.
That is...
It's the New York Knicks gi.
Ronny Chieng whipping out a jiu-jitsu gi festooned with Knicks logos.
Yeah.
I have this...
Albino and... I should shout out Albino and Prito.
Was this custom made for you?
No. They sold it. They had a partnership. They did a collab with the NBA. So there's a few... You see, there's official logo. Okay, this is all legit.
That's ridiculous.
I didn't even realize that when I pulled it out. I just pulled it out.
I love that the last thing you might see, or the last thing your opponent might see as they lose consciousness is a logo that reminds them of like Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah. And to be honest, it's biggest on the back. So
it's enormous on the back.
If they see this, if my opponent's looking at this, that means I'm going out. This is the last thing they see before they choke me out. I do want to talk about this interior Chinatown thing real quick because I feel like I haven't done a great job of selling it to people.
Explaining what it is.
It's kind of hard to explain, but just imagine it's guys. It's it's a bunch of people who are in a TV show and they're unaware that they're on a TV show.
Right, like Law and Order.
Yeah.
Is like the analog for what the show is.
Yes.
Police procedural.
Police procedural, Law and Order, and we're background characters in it, but we don't know we're in a TV show.
Right, you're the guys working at the Chinese restaurant in the police procedural, who it turns out have a vast universe that they are inhabiting themselves.
Yes.
But what's hard to explain,
constantly in the background.
And what's hard to explain though is the shift in
perspectives.
Yes, in like wait a minute. So is this real? Who's aware of this?
Right.
Are the cops aware of what they're thinking? In that way, it becomes both gripping and also hard to summarize.
Yeah, it's hard to summarize, but I think that's what's cool about it. It's that it's weird and ambitious. We're not spoon feeding you. Like when you watch Twin Peaks, are you like, well, what's going on?
I vividly remember the first time I saw Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah.
It was on VHS. I was doing a Christian service trip to Ecuador because I'm a good person.
Wait, what?
This is in high school.
Wait, you're Christian?
You do service?
Oh.
I was raised Catholic. I went to a Catholic all-boys high school.
Okay.
And we went on a Christian service trip to Ecuador.
Oh my God.
Which again, confusing because not Hispanic.
But
there I was. And there was a TV with a bunch of old VHS tapes. And one of them was Twin Peaks. And I had no idea what this was. We put it on one day. And I just remember being almost scarred. Like haunted, actually.
Right, haunted.
But it's the highest compliment to compare anything to David Lynch is my point.
Sure, I mean,
surrealistic, but it aspires to a surrealism.
Yeah.
That is, it's the whole thing about like working for any tech company now. It's like, what is this show like?
Yes.
And we are making comparisons to things that are elevated.
Yes.
Which is a compliment because that's not what you would do if you're just trying to maximize the simplicity of the elevator pitch.
Yes. 1000%. So how cool is it that we got to make this thing?
It's awesome.
With Asian guys, and I mean, it's making a broader point as well. It's this idea that why are we background characters in the story all the time? You know, what does that mean? We're always on the background of culture in America, right? So like, how do we navigate that?
Yes. What is that waiter in the background scene of this Law and Order episode thinking?
Right.
Is a very funny premise.
Yes.
And then the thing that makes it work though to me as a viewer but there is an actual mystery.
Yes.
That's unfolding.
Yes.
It's not merely beating the same drum of this is a clever premise.
Yes.
And there is a social good to come out of this. It's like you're actually trying to figure out what is happening.
Yes, what is happening. All the characters are slowly trying to figure out what's happening, and it gets weirder and weirder.
Right. Why is Ronny Chieng, spoiler alert, getting thrown into a vat of hot sauce?
No, that's not me. That's Jimmy.
Hey guys, I'm here with my main man, Detective Willis Wu. And when Willis wants something with a kick, he reaches for Chinese shuffle.
Whoa, wait. Whoa, what the No, wait, whoa.
How's the spice level? Spicy enough for you?
You throw Jimmy into
Yes,
that.
I throw it back.
I'm sorry, you all look
That's
alike.
okay. Yeah, that's okay. I understand. I understand coming from a Mexican guy. You can't tell us apart.
So the jujitsu thing though.
Yeah.
You're not on Twitter or X or whatever, but on Instagram, I see the proof of the body transformation, but more than that, the martial art transformation that you've been undergoing for how long now?
Oh, I've been doing martial arts since 2004.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not jujitsu, but other martial arts. So, I used to do eskrima, which is the Filipino.
Oh my,
yeah.
really?
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while. It's fun. It's not even about fighting. It's just good mental health. You know, and in a weird way, jujitsu, this could be an article for your never to be created, long form magazine.
Yep.
Like Brazilian jiu-jitsu has been totally embraced by America, Middle America.
Oh, we did an episode early on with Jay Caspian Kang actually.
Okay.
About why Mark Zuckerberg is so into jiu-jitsu.
Right. I joke about that in my special as well. Please watch Netflix December 17th.
I unfortunately do recommend that they do that.
Okay, thank you.
But there is a sort of cognitive logic, an intellectualism to jiu-jitsu in terms of strategy.
Yeah.
That I certainly never appreciated because I only know about it because, it's like MMA stuff now, BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is very popular.
Right.
There seems to be, it's a thinking man's martial art is the way
Yes.
that it was described to us.
Yeah, it is. I think so. I think because you can do uncooperative sparring every class. So there's
What does that mean?
It means that when you spar in jiu-jitsu, you traditionally spar at the end of every single class, and it's not like you're both trying to win. So it becomes an actual competitive game.
Right. Practice feels like the real thing.
Yeah. And because of that, you get like the strategy because you're not just drilling mindlessly, you're both trying to win. So then it becomes like chess a little bit. So, and because you're not striking, so you don't get, any long-term brain issues.
Well, except for all the consciousness that you lose.
Well, no, but you should be tapping out before that. So yeah, so in that sense, it's a real kind of gentleman's martial art, and But my broader point, we could talk about jiu-jitsu forever, but like my broader point is that for some reason, Middle America,
why
loves it. I don't know. There's something about Brazilian jiu-jitsu and like that American something that they just go like that. It's a real.
It has been
fit.
startling to me as somebody whose dad, again, Filipino guy, did martial arts in the Philippines.
Oh.
And put me into karate classes and taekwondo classes and stuff.
What did your dad do?
He did a little eskrima. He did karate in the Philippines.
Oh, wow.
I think he was like a brown belt, which is the second highest.
Whoa,
Not like a black
your
belt.
dad could kick some butt.
I mean, as every Asian father must.
Right. Oh, wow. Must be crazy if you can't fight your dad.
Yeah.
Wow, but you never did it, eh?
I tapped out at white belt every time.
Wow, as impressive as you are as a person, Harvard and ESPN pioneering Asian American journalist, your dad is like
he's way better. The LeBron James of Filipino urologists is what I always call him.
Crazy.
This is making me feel both better and worse about everything I've accomplished. But the point being that jiu-jitsu clearly is just cool and sort of like, and obviously there's the MMA part of it, there's the UFC, there's the Joe Rogan, it's just hard to disentangle it from all of it.
American culture, yeah.
But it's so popular right now that it is a remarkable and unthinkable thing for, again, an Asian American to be like, oh, Middle America just loves this weird Asian art now.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu. I mean, and I think it has something for left and right.
Yes.
I think the left, if you're on the left, then you do jiu-jitsu, you kind of toughen up a little bit. You learn some self-reliance, and you kind of learn that no one can help you. You got to help yourself. It's one-on-one. And then if you're on the right, you learn the opposite. You actually learn that, there are people, you can't just be you have to look after other people in your class. For you to have a good training session, everyone needs to be okay. You know what I mean? And so you learn kind of putting other people before yourself, not going for the kill every single time, because that's not what creates a good atmosphere. And when you talk about jiu-jitsu, it becomes above politics. You could be left or right wing, and if you talk about jiu-jitsu, you bond over jiu-jitsu. It's like a common cult
Have you been
thing.
workshopping this take?
No, I haven't. But
but the idea of I like the idea of like the Democratic Party, actually. The DNC
doing jiu-jitsu
needs to all take jujitsu.
Yeah, because I think it might be the answer to, solving the divide in America.
Is that we all sort of culminate instead of an election in a martial arts tournament.
Yeah. Not fight it out. It's just jiu-jitsu might be the only common thread that could connect left and right,
What are you like as a competitor, though, in jiu-jitsu?
I'm bad at jiu-jitsu. I tap early. My whole thing is don't get injured.
Don't mess with the moneymaker.
Yeah, don't mess with the moneymaker. Tap early. I got no ego with tapping. Women, children, white belts, everyone taps me out. I have no problem with that whatsoever. My goal is mental health. Do not get injured. Do not injure anyone else. That's my main goal.
In interior Chinatown, there are fight scenes.
Ever since I was a boy, I've dreamt of this moment. Practicing. Waiting to step into the light.
Hi, can I place an order to go?
I wonder, when you were doing those fight scenes, was your jiu-jitsu training helpful? Or no, were you actually throttling what you knew because you weren't a guy who was a jiu-jitsu student?
I mean, jiu-jitsu helped insofar as body control, but I was like throwing a phone at someone's face. Like, Jimmy was like
Jimmy O Yang, who's
crescent, Jimmy O Yang's in it, crescent kicking. There's no kicks in jiu-jitsu. But it definitely helped with body control and like knowing how to move, and it was, and most of the fight scenes was the stunt guys making us look good. So shout out to the stunt guys. But I think it's a very cool show and very ambitious, and I hope people check it out and they like it, because it's rare to make something original IP like that. That's just ambitious.
It's based on a best-selling book.
Based on a best-selling book, so it's free market tested.
Books.
Yeah, books.
If there's anything that we've learned on today's episode of Pablo Torre Finds Out, it's that we should prioritize books.
Yeah. I seriously doubt anyone watching this clip on Instagram has read a book in the last 5 years. I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Ronny Chieng.
Write in the comments the books that you read.
Yeah, sound off in the comments with the last book you read.
I will never see any of those comments, but it will help the video make some money, which is the point of this. I guess.
Ronny, thank you for a session of uncooperative sparring.
No problem. Oh, yeah, there you go.
See?
And thanks for having me on again. Always great to see you. I'm a huge fan, remain a huge fan. I've been a fan of yours since college. It's surreal to actually meet and talk to you sometimes and see you face to face. And I love your writing. I hope you can get back to it.
Okay, that's enough, though. I think the point's been made. I think the point's been made.
All right. Yeah, so I'm beating a dead horse, man. But yes, I love everything you do except for this.
Yeah. The feelings are mutual, except I love this. Pablo Torre Finds Out is produced by Walter Aberoma, Ryan Cortez, Sam Daywig, Juan Galindo, Patrick Kim, Neely Lohman, Rob McRae, Rachel Miller-Howard, Carl Scott, Matt Sullivan, Claire Taylor, Chris Tuminello, and Juliet Warren. Our studio engineering by RG Systems. Our sound design by NGW Post. Our theme song, as always, is by John Bravo. And we will talk to you next time.